Game day once again for the Arizona Coyotes on this December 15th, Wednesday. It's a Wednesday game, hump day game for the Arizona Coyotes. They are host to the New York Rangers. We're going to break that game down on today's episode of Locked On Coyotes.
You're Locked On Coyotes, your daily podcast on the Arizona Coyotes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Robyn and Carl Pavlik, right beside me on this Wednesday. As I mentioned, it is hump day. But it is okay. We are. It's the 15th, and it is halfway through. Exactly now, halfway through. Just about halfway through the end of the last month of 2021. It's been a long year for you Arizona Coyotes fans. So, and I really got to say, bravo for a lot of you Coyotes fans for sticking through everything that's happened this year.
Absolutely. We get paid for this. So when we watch Coyotes games, there's some monetary compensation. It's not enough, I will say that, just because watching the Coyotes is very painful. But if you're just doing it for the love of the game, respect.
Absolutely respect. I know it hurts. It definitely hurts. I just consider myself a hockey fan, and it hurts.
Don't worry, I consider myself a Coyotes fan first and foremost, so it does hurt. It hurts a lot. But yeah, we keep doing it. A lot of people are staying in there, watching the small things, watching the team develop, and kudos to them.
And a little tease, if you once 2022 starts, the moment 2022 starts, we're gonna start counting down and do some scouting, some draft talk, all that stuff like that. Because the 2022 draft is, it'd be 7 months away, but
Yeah,
you know.
but yeah, it's coming up there. I think everyone right now is looking forward to the draft.
Especially if you're a Coyotes fan.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Anyways, we got a game to talk about today. It is a pregame show for a game tonight at 7 p.m. at Gila River Arena. Arizona Coyotes hosting the New York Rangers. A much tougher matchup. New York they're a better team. They've been pretty decent for them, doing pretty decent.
Yeah, I would say it's not as tough as last week's matchup against the Panthers, though.
No. The Panthers right now are like number one in the NHL rankings right now. New York Rangers is top 10 team, but they're not number one.
I'd agree with that.
So, and that's what's going to make this game tough.
Yeah, it is. I will say Rangers definitely a good team. They are having a bit of a slump. They've lost their last two. They played last night against the Golden Knights, so that kind of gives me a little bit of hope. Maybe we're catching them tired, maybe a little bit down on themselves, not in the right headspace, and Coyotes can maybe squeak one out.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. The Coyotes can squeak this one out, especially since you've seen the Coyotes go through skids when they lose quite a bit. They have a couple days off, and then all of a sudden I wouldn't necessarily say revitalized, because this team haven't really seen a true quote revitalization of the team.
Yeah.
But more of they bounce back in competitiveness, and they actually make it interesting and potentially can win.
Yeah, I think like after a few days when they get some practice time in there, get some rest, they know kind of what the system is going to be, and they're able to better execute that. And that is going to be interesting to see if they can do that, because I think they can. They do have a few kind of key pieces missing. For one, Jacob Chikrin was placed on IR yesterday. I believe after we talked, so we didn't get a chance to bring it up, other than the fact that said that he's going to be weak or out for the rest of the week. He's not going to be in there, so I'm kind of seeing like how is that going to be? How are the Coyotes going to adapt, especially with Yanis Mosier making his NHL debut, the fifth Coyote this season to make their NHL debut.
Yeah, Yanis Mosier, JJ Mosier getting called up from the Tucson Roadrunners. That came out just yesterday after we recorded the previous episode, and yeah, I mean, it just shows you, just how much the Coyotes had to rotate through their roster due to so much turnover.
Yeah. How has Mosier been in his making his pro debut?
He's pretty good. Defense uh, has been interesting, just in general. On that, just
Sure.
I just think in general, yeah, the Roadrunners have been an interesting team. Like, I'm trying to figure them out, like, because it's hard to pinpoint one player. Because I'm trying to watch like so many players in the Roadrunners. I'm just like, oh yeah, I forgot to check this person out too.
Yeah.
But Mosier he's been pretty decent.
I was kind of surprised to see him get the call up over Soderstrom, especially since Soderstrom started with the team. Uh, so I'm wondering
I
if they just
mean,
want more consistent ice time for
I
Soderstrom, and they're
think
not necessarily going to get that
it
with Mosier.
probably is. It probably is. Make sure Soderstrom gets his more ice time. Maybe it's just to give enough rotation through the people to get their opportunities. Maybe Mosier gets sent down, and then the next defensive call up is one of the Vladislavs.
Mm.
Like,
I will say I really liked the Vladislavs during preseason, so that would be interesting.
yeah,
And depending,
Provenev has been pretty decent to start off, and then Koyachonak has been quiet,
yeah,
but
Provenev seems like he just like his physical play. Like I was kind of surprised that the Coyotes didn't want that like with the team immediately. Although looking at like O'Brien and
big
Dzingel,
also big
they're getting it.
also big picture here.
Yeah.
These are all future Coyote, like future Coyotes who they want to be part of the organization. So it's like everyone that's future Coyotes is down in Tucson. Let's
Sure.
make sure they work well together, and then like all of a sudden, like one day, they're all just gonna be like, "All right, you're all calling up."
I mean, it's not like they have many people signed in any position next season. So yeah, that seems to be the case. If before we go to break, let me ask you this: if Chikrin ends up being out long term, do you think they do that? Do you think they do kind of like cycling in between, like have Provanov off for a game or two, have Mosier up for a week, maybe get Soderstrom back up, or do you think they go like one person long term?
I think probably what they'll do is they'll rotate through, um, like you were just saying this on that at that start. But let's say, for all intents and purposes, that the like let's say trying to, that Mosier has a phenomenal game, and they're like, okay, let's give you a game, and he has another phenomenal game. I don't think it's gonna happen, but but,
Sure.
we'll, um, we're doing hypotheticals here. Like at that point, it's his position to lose.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And I do kind of see that being the situation. I also agree with you that it's seems unlikely that any player will come up and have a phenomenal game like that and like really like steal that position, just because they are all younger players. Except for I think Povnev. I think he's 25, isn't he?
I
Um,
believe so.
but either way, like you don't necessarily. I'm not expecting, and the expectations aren't that these young
Twenty
players should have a
six.
26. Yeah, so he's up there, but everyone else is pretty young. Like they need time to develop. I don't imagine them stealing the position like that.
No, they definitely won't steal the position. Um, but again, you never know because um, if the case of like Provanov or other players, a lot of like, and as I mentioned back in October, but a lot of these players have something to prove. So
Yep.
if they go up with that mindset, so far it seems like some players don't have that mindset going in.
Mm.
Um, It almost seems that way. I'm not saying they don't, because it just, some it might just be just talent, just the overall talent level of the rest of the team. But most of them have nothing, have something to prove, and they should. And going up, they should have a phenomenal game. But
Yeah, yeah, I get you. Like everyone should have that mindset, but I, I,
it's
I
hard to have
haven't
that
seen it.
mind. It's hard to have that mindset when the talent level of the team is among the poorest we've seen in a long time.
Exactly. That makes a lot of sense.
Yep. We still got more to get to though on this episode of Locked On Coyotes. We're going to preview more of this game in just a moment, but first we have a quick word from our sponsors.
Got beard? Get primal. You heard me right. Got beard? Get primal. If you or someone you care about has a beard, it needs to get primal. Maybe you're that guy who's never considered the benefits of treating your beard with product. Primal Origin oils will stop the itch and make your beard look healthy and groomed. The products are free from harmful synthetic ingredients and have a low impact on our planet. Primal Origin Oils makes balms, oils, and whipped butter that are renowned as the best feel in the beard products industry. All the products are fair trade certified and handcrafted in the United States. The combo kits make great holiday gifts, and if you're shopping for yourself, you'll be glad you got one. I actually have a really close friend. I went to his daughter's christening the other weekend. Christmas is coming up. Think about getting him some Primal products because he has a really big beard. Now, we know that every company claims to have the best, but Primal Origin Oils challenges you to compare their ingredients and the feel in your beard to that of other products you've used. We promise you'll see and feel the difference. Remember to use the promo code LOCKEDON to get 20% off your primaloriginsoils.com's order. That's promo code LOCKEDON at checkout for 20% off.
And this holiday season, grab the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar, or even better than a candy bar. That is Built Bar, filled with so much holiday goodness, rich with decadent flavor, covered in chocolate, but amazingly low in calories, sugar, net carbs, and fat, and high in protein. You get the best of both worlds, delicious and healthy. So many flavors you have a hard time choosing. We go raspberry or mint brownie, cherry or double chocolate, cookies and cream or peanut butter brownie. Bulk Bar gives you the extra fuel you need to bust down those mall doors and battle all the holiday shoppers. Or if you're just standing in endless shopping lines, Built Bar can give you that extra something to keep you going. So throw one in your jacket or your purse. You never know when you're gonna need it. Want to cozy up to something warm? Here's a holiday secret. Dip your Built Bar into a piping hot cup of cocoa. Let it melt a little bit to give your beverage that Built Bar flavor. Plus, you'll have a nice melty Built Bar to go with it. So be sure to have a couple napkins on hand though. But I want you guys to go ahead and try it out yourself. Go to built.com and use the promo code LOCKED15 and you get 15% off your order. Once again, use the promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com. And let's continue here on Lockdown Coyotes, this preview show, Arizona Coyotes versus the New York Rangers. Once again, I'm Robyn Leonio, Carl Pavlik on my other side. As we discuss this game, Carl, and one thing I'm looking at the roster here, there's a couple things I want to mention. This is the first time, I believe, because of the way the draft worked in this last year, and or not the last year, but the way the seasons have been crazy the last couple years.
Yeah.
Um, that we're going to see Alexi Lafreniere.
Oh yeah. That is, I think, the first time we're going to see him. That should be fun. I say somewhat sarcastically. Uh, how's his season been?
It looks like based off his last game, he was on the fourth line for the Rangers. He's got I'm looking on these stats based off Money Puck. A 0.71 expected goals per 60 minutes played, 6 goals from 4.27 expected goals during 361 minutes played. So he's making his opportunities based off being a fourth line player.
Yeah.
And again, he's young. He's had shortened seasons to work with, so his development is a little stunted. But well, this guy was picked first overall for a reason.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure like because we always see this against the Coyotes, he'll have like just a phenomenal night and destroy us. Um, but yeah, no, that's interesting. It's always kind of fun to get that first actual look at a highly touted player and prospect.
Absolutely. And if there's another player I want to mention on the New York Rangers roster that might instill anger to a lot of you Arizona Coyotes fans, Ryan Reeves.
That's Ryan Reeves' impact on hockey is just phenomenal to watch because he is one of the few players I think that affects like the meta game in a weird way because teams are always trying to think of a way to counter him.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun to watch. Uh, when you were talking about a Rangers player you're interested in seeing, I would have thought you would have gone with Chris Kreider, who is having a phenomenal season with 17 goals in 28 games. What?
Yeah, a lot. There are players in the NHL who are doing insane things, goal wise. Chris Kreider kind of felt like like to me, like he was like not necessarily fell off the radar for me. Just to kind of, it's just like yes, that 17 goals is huge,
Yeah.
but like I look at top goal scorers right now. I'm just looking at Alex Ovechkin over in Washington because whatever he's doing, I want some of it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the goals seem to be up right now, and it's not just because teams are getting the chance to play the Coyotes, which I know is everyone's theory. That we're just seeing some bad bottom competition, and it's leading to inflated goals. I don't necessarily think that's the case, but 17 goals in 28 games is impressive. And he's actually not too much higher a shooting percentage than he was last year when he had 20 goals in 50 games. It's like I don't know. Has like the age of like prime forward like increased in the past couple of years? Is it like now 30? Uh, it'll be
Well,
interesting to see.
it is interesting, that I meant that thing. It's like you have obviously the prime, like for the longest time, everyone considers the prime to be what 20 from 25 until 28, somewhere around
Yeah.
there,
Uh,
right?
27
Um,
always sticks out to me as like the prime.
the single prime year, it's like that is their best year.
Yeah.
Although a lot of players, elite players, will continue their elite level through their 30s,
Yeah.
right? Like you see players going on, hell of a run in their 33, 34. And obviously I can look back at Ovechkin's, he's 36, but Kreider's 30 and in those 17 goals so far in the season. That's phenomenal.
Yeah. It just makes me feel good as like a 33-year-old. Like in sports you're taught that like just when you hit 30 you're an old man and decrepit. And that's just not the case anymore. I feel full of life.
Yeah, it's funny because there's always that joke about 30. No matter from, it's still gonna linger around.
Yeah.
But
So what do you think the Coyotes need to do tonight to get a win?
um, I'm gonna take a little piece of what we mentioned in yesterday's review episode, and it's also a piece that you've been always saying every freaking game, everything of all season long.
You steal my
Stop
things?
taking too many freaking penalties. Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, I mean, you're pretty smart, and it's an observation that I've also been making, and it's pretty obvious. I think everyone's knows this pretty well.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, let's kind of go with that because I did want to talk about special teams. Rangers have the eighth ranked power play and the sixth ranked penalty kill. So, yeah, the Coyotes are going to want to definitely be like, they don't want to take many penalties because they are probably going to get scored on if they do. I imagine it'll be another one of those nights where they'll just keep taking them until the Rangers finally break through. And those are always depressing.
Yeah, it will be. It's gonna be a tough game for the Arizona Coyotes. It's gonna
Yeah,
be. It's definitely gonna be a challenge.
it will be. It will be. And then, yeah, later this week the Ducks. That'll be fun as well.
The last time they played each other did not go well. Not one bit.
Nope.
But we still got more to get to on this episode of Locked On Coyotes. We're going to talk predictions and my favorite segment. You guys know what that is. All that coming up in just a bit in a moment. But first, a quick word from Carl.
So, BetOnline has you covered all season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before as football season continues the march to the playoffs. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all sports action this season. Head to our new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code LOCKEDON to receive your bonus. From basketball, football, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right down to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
And now let's go and finish up this episode of Locked On Coyotes by talking predictions courtesy of our friends at betonline.ag. We have the lines available for tonight's game. Arizona Coyotes are point and a half underdogs at minus 135.
Mm.
Plus 192 if you go on the money line, minus 214 if you want to bet on the New York Rangers. Total points, 5.5 points. If you bet the over, it is minus 107. You bet the under, it is minus 103.
Hmm. So, here's my thoughts on this game. I think the Rangers are in a bit of a slump. Just kind of looking at their past couple games, they lost the last two. They've been kept to like two or less for quite a few games recently. So I think this one's going to be low scoring. I think the Coyotes are going to have a good night. I'm going 3-2
Gonna go
Arizona.
3 to Arizona.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. I know I like that. Not a bad not a bad prediction on that one. You got some pretty good money potentially to be made off a prediction like that one.
Yeah.
Um, for me, it's gonna be a close game.
Hmm.
Um, I don't have the Coyotes winning, but it's gonna be a close game. It's gonna be a low scoring game too. So I also have this one going under, but it's gonna be um, your score but flipped.
Mm. 3-2 New York.
Yeah.
I can definitely appreciate that. I think just kind of like looking at how these teams have been, betting the under makes sense. Um, and I would say, yeah, if I was actually putting money on it, I probably would say the Rangers. But just kind of like my predictive sense, my spidey sense going into this game is that the Coyotes win. And that happens sometimes. Like you ever just get like a feeling, you like look at all the information, you're like, all right, this is what I think. If you want me to explain to you why, like everything will take like a half hour for me to go through, which is about what this episode is. So that kind of works.
There you go. Right. Um, but yeah, it's interesting. I wanted to predict the Coyotes to win personally. I really did. But with the Rangers being a top 10 team in the league, it's like I can't. Do I really think so? I think they can put a competitiveness. I think um, you know the Coyotes can bounce back and start at a competitive level. Scott Wedgwood can do Scott Wedgwood stuff.
Sure.
Like it will be a fun game. I'll put it that way. It will be a fun game.
I do think it's more. I am less thinking the Coyotes are going to pull this one off and more thinking that the Rangers are going to blow it. So I do want to explain my reasoning that way. Like
Okay.
I said, they're on a 2-game losing streak. They're playing in the second game of a back-to-back. To me, that just says like, oh, this is not going to be the best, especially since last night they were going up against the Avalanche. Like you were gonna put all your energy into like that battle if you're the Rangers, thinking you can kind of coast. So this is more just like a trap game for them.
Absolutely. The for those who want to know, I look at some other chances to win based off money puck. 37, yeah, 37 or 33% chance actually. The Coyotes win. Um, and but one thing I do want to mention that I really want to see, it doesn't show in the lineup because it's the way it is, but um, I want to see a fight from one of our physical players with Brian Reeves.
I mean, so Liam O'Brien, like I feel like he's gonna be the one who's gonna drop the gloves.
Yeah,
Uh, which honestly, I think you got a pretty good chance of that. Just given his penchant for fisticuffs.
just watch. It's gonna be like Ryan Reeves is just gonna try to hit like Lawson Krause again and try to injure him, and then Liam O'Brien just skates from the bench and just freaking.
I mean, good on him for going after Kraus and not Keller. If there's one player on the ice I would not want to target, it's Lawson Krause. But yeah, I could definitely see that if that was a prop bet, fighting, I would take that one in an instant.
Especially, I mean, again, especially because we mentioned because of Ryan Reeves being on the ice today.
Yeah, Ryan Reeves is just he's that guy. He's got his role, and it tends to result in some physical things happening. That's the best way I can say it.
Absolutely. But you have our predictions now. Carl says 3-2 Coyotes. I say 3-2 Rangers, the final score. Take those with a grain of salt. Make a sound prediction on your own, should you so choose. Make a sound bet on your own, should you choose. But I have provided my personal advice. You can listen to it, choose not to listen to it. You can do what you want with it. If you choose to gamble, please don't forget to gamble responsibly.
All I know is it's going to be like 2-2 tied late in the third, and both of us are just going to be like, huh, which one's right?
Well, let's put it this way, Carl. Obviously, here's a question for you. Then, are you betting the puck line or the money line, the spread or the money line? Obviously, the money line has a higher chance of winning money, but your puck line base will like because if you do puck line, then both of us would be right.
Yeah. I mean, I would say probably. I'd say the money line.
You'll go
Uh,
money line. So you're
yeah.
okay. Okay. So then there will be some sweating if it's 2-2 late in the third period.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't expect the Coyotes to have a great game. I expect this one to be a Rangers lose more than an Arizona win.
Yeah, if only the Rangers had their confirmed starting goaltender, so I knew.
Yeah.
Although it is a back-to-back, so you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Anyways, though, that is it for today's episode of Locked On Coyotes. Hope you guys like what you heard. If you did, don't forget to leave a review, like, comment, subscribe if you get to already. We are free and available on all platforms, including on YouTube. Don't forget to interact with us on social media. We are on Facebook, facebook.com/LockedOnCoyotes, on Twitter at LO_Coyotes. I am personally at Robyn_Leano. Carl Pavlik is at Carl Pavlik FFH. Ask us a question, interact with us. We might interact right back, answer your questions you might have on a future episode of the Locked On Coyotes podcast. Thanks again, everyone, for listening to today's episode. Hope you guys are staying safe out there. Hope you guys are staying healthy. And don't forget to howl on.